immediately you get a high.
But you're coming down from it, I think you really...
You feel good.
Once
Drugs and young people. What is it all about? All this? Or is it something more fundamental? We'll be meeting Dr. Diablo, that eminent sociologist and author of this year's best-selling book, Make It Safe, Make It Legal, and Angela Gabrielle, the head of the latest drugs information initiative, Just Say No to Narco. Also, later in our show, we'll have a live satellite link-up with Professor Snow from the Californian Institute of Youth Culture.
We'd like to complain about this programme.
Beg your pardon?
Look, this is another programme about drugs and young people, and you haven't even asked us what we think.
Why should we?
We are young people.
And we're involved with Fast Forward.
We want to help young people avoid problems with drugs, alcohol and tobacco.
We believe that one of the best ways of working is for young people to educate other young people.
Oh, you do you? What was that name again? Fast Track?
Fast Forward!
Certainly.
That's the problem. That's what we need.
Education. That's what young people need. Ms. Gabrielle's approach here is to treat them like mushrooms, leave them in the dark and feed them bullshit.
I never got any information about drugs at all at school. I mean, I can't even think of an example when, we did have nothing about drugs was mentioned in our school. It's like a big taboo. I mean, it was just, and I mean, we were in one of the worst areas in Edinburgh for drugs.
We got pamphlets about all the different drugs, but we never really got anybody talking to us about drugs. Because, I did in primary 7 once, but I've never had any talk about drugs in secondary school.
They're always very negative about drugs. They never sort of say, well, if you're going to try it, stick to the soft stuff. They never say that. They just say, just stay clear of it altogether.
We get, in second year we had a drugs talk, and then during a life and work module in SE in third year, you did a bit of sort of drugs information, but most of it is it's kind of just like learning about what the different drugs are and what the effects are and how harmful they can be. There's very little of it about why you might want to take them and the social implications of it. It's mostly just facts, which is quite bad because it's not really realistic.
Well, we really had only two things. We had a slideshow from the police about the different kinds of drugs and the names of them. But that was really boring because we just had this man standing at the front of the class droning on about drugs. And the other thing, we had an education pack. But that was really good because you're actually involved in it, you're actually writing stuff down.
I think I enjoy the talks more because, I mean, you can get your views out, your opinion out, and you can ask a lot of things. The sketches are good as well because, it helps you, if it did happen to you, what would you do? That's good as well.
One person was a person who was trying to get you to take drugs, and the other person was a person who was trying to say no. And it was quite good. I think it helped.
So how do young people hear about drugs?
Unfortunately, the narrow-minded propaganda of this latest initiative is the way most of them will get to hear about it.
What we're trying to do is to counteract the erroneous information given out by the likes of Diablo.
I first remember hearing about drugs when I was about 13 or 14, actual names and understanding what they were about. This mostly came from my peer group, very little from school, and nothing from my parents whatsoever. Again, the attitude being, the less she knows, the less likely I will be to experiment in any way.
I think when I was quite young, I think that my parents made me aware of that there's drugs all around us, whether they're legal or illegal, that there's legal tranquilizers and nicotine, alcohol, as well as illegal drugs.
At primary school, when they started talking to us about it, and then I never really heard much about it after that until when I was about 13, and my friends started talking all about it.
I think from big sisters and brothers and from older friends mostly, that's where you heard some just little bits of gossip and stuff about them in a way, and a bit on the television and on programmes like Grange Hill where people were addicted to heroin and things like that.
I was up at a friend's house. One of my friends had a free house and me and a few pals went up there, like one of them had came in with a bit of cannabis. They started skinning up joints and that.
It was through family, and I just heard that they know it's bad for you as everybody makes out, and that they would rather that I'd done it in the house under their supervision rather than going out in a boot just by myself and doing it myself.
The root cause of young people taking drugs is that you lot make it so attractive. By making it illegal, you make it sexy.
Absolute rubbish. We all know it's the irresponsible behaviour of parents allowing children to roam the street that causes chaos.
There are people who use them for recreational purposes. Instead of drinking, they now go out the weekend and maybe take an e-tablet as their way of relaxing. That is vastly different between someone on a council estate in Pollock taking temazepam every day to get them through the day.
I don't know, it's fun. I suppose it's no like everyday life. There's no problems when you're on drugs. You just feel happy.
Well, with the rave scene and that, he's coming as being like the male thing, you know, you can just dance all night and have a good laugh.
If somebody's maybe good at sport or something, they might take drugs to enhance their performance, or if they've got a lot of problems, they might see it as a way out. They take drugs that might give you a high for a while.
Because the drugs are a popular thing where I come from, you know, it's just got that popular. Everybody's doing it, you know, like most of the older people, like the 20-year-olds.
I think in a smaller community, I mean, it's a lot worse. I used to live in a tiny place outside Glasgow. By primary 5, I was smoking because there was nothing else to do. And I left just at the end of that year, but by primary 7, you know, I had pals back there who were smoking hash by then. It's just there was nothing to do.
Boredom, unhappiness, like unemployment. I mean, there's like nothing for young people these days. There's like, I mean, there's never really been anything, but like now there's nothing. I mean, you leave school, what have you to do? You have to get a YTS for £29.50 a week.
It's sometimes when you're bored and people say there should be more clubs opening because we're bored and we take drugs, but if the clubs are still open, we're going to still take drugs. Yeah, I mean, so it's not really, I think it's just if you want to take them, you take them.
Because they're curious, they want to find out what it does to you, how it makes you feel. Like when you go out, will it make me feel happier, or will I get along with people more if I take them? And because their friends are taking them, everybody around them saying, have you tried this? And if you've not, it's like, oh, you're a squared or something.
Some people are, maybe young people are, maybe getting a bit depressed with life. I know from experience that you can get completely hassled at school by teachers wanting investigations, homework and everything. So maybe some young people think, oh, to hell with it, and just take drugs.
So you think it's perfectly all right for children to be able to buy smack over the counter?
I said nothing of the kind.
Yes, you did.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
Yes.
See these people in the television studios who sit and talk about drug abuse?
How many of them do you think have had a wee refreshment in the hospitality room before the show?
Or just had a wee cigarette just to calm their nerves?
Fast forward.
Each time you take a drug, it's rotting away one of your brain cells. No, it doesn't matter what drug you're taking. Same as cigarettes, you get cancer or fact, die of cancer. You die with ecstasy, anything.
When you get so totally detached from reality, you haven't got a clue what's going on.
Depends what kind of drug it is. I mean, take acid, I know it makes people aggressive. You could go for somebody, they could take you in the wrong place, kill you, put you in a bad trip.
Make you depressed or addicted to them, can totally ruin your life in a way, because if you can't have it, then you just get all agitated and desperate. They're obviously bad for you taking in large amounts, but then they can't be that bad because you get drugs and prescription and all the rest. I mean, you need drugs to cure illnesses.
I think serious drugs like heroin seriously affect your health. I know they can kill you, but I know that drugs like grass don't affect you so much. They just make you happy and relaxed, and they're not addictive.
We'll have to be careful.
Well, I wasn't the one who said fast forward anyway.
Well, if they've no money all the time, they're on the dole or still at school. Unless they're working, they've not really got the money to buy drugs. They're either getting themselves into lots of debt or they're taking up dealing, starting to deal it for themselves.
Well, I mean, it would be hard to get a job, I mean, because nobody would employ you if you'd be taking drugs. So, I mean, then you'd have no money, no job, I mean, and maybe friends would fall out with you, like the parents would say to their children, I don't want you going about with him because he takes drugs and he's been done for it. So it'd be really hard.
You just get marked in the family or your neighbours and all that, just thinking you're a baddie, you know? Even though you stop or anything like that, you're just not normal anymore because you've taken them once and you've been marked in a police record that you took drugs or in a hospital or something like that.
It would separate you from especially your mum and dad, and it sort of isolates you. I mean, people say it's a sociable thing, but it really isn't, because it drives you apart from your friends and your family, because it drives you in yourself.
Diablo and his peddling and meddling drug cronies are the greatest danger to our young people today.
Her blinkered approach not only sweeps the problem under the proverbial carpet, but flushes the future of our youth down the toilet.
I feel that the biggest threat to young people is unemployment at this particular moment in time.
There's a lot of threats, like walking in the street. You're not even safe to walk on the street these days. Apart from drugs getting pushed on you, bad drugs being getting pushed on you, there's also the case of knives and that. There's too many weapons in the street, too many folk getting out of their mind with alcohol or like downers and that.
To young people, I think it's just now it's the violence. If you're going in town, if I'm going in town, I'm scared myself. I've got a hold of my school bag. Even if I've just got £2 or something in my wallet, I'm scared that all the knives just now, they're coming up and just attacking anybody with them, just slashing anybody, stabbing anybody, and I'm really scared about that.
I think that smoking is the greatest danger because it's something that nobody really takes seriously. They don't think that it's going to harm you. So young people are more exposed to it.
Alcohol, because that is killing too many people, far too many people.
AIDS is the biggest threat to young people today, more so than drugs.
I don't think it's drugs on their own. There's things that scare a lot of people, like AIDS and young pregnancies, unemployment, but a lot of them are all tied together, you know, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and then things like cancer and AIDS from injections from drugs, and then pregnancies, sex and AIDS are all tied together. And unemployment's a big problem. A lot of people are really worried about what's going to happen in their future, and that might be a reason why a lot of people take drugs, to try and escape from that. So all the fears are tend to be linked together, I think.
You lethal Pied Piper.
You arrogant, condescending do-gooder.
Degenerate hippie.
Self-righteous bitch.
Action and ideas, please. I know this is a bit unconventional, but me, I have an idea that might just work.
We'd like to make a few suggestions on the way forward. See? Told you.
So it's only when you say...
So, let's look forward with fast forward.
You said it.
No, I didn't.
Did.
Didn't.
Did.
I didn't.
Did. You said, let's look forward with fast forward.
Well, I think they should be given more information from a much earlier age, from primary school age, definitely. But it should be more relaxed, more informative. I don't think it should involve the police so much. I don't think people respect what the police have to say to them anymore.
Let them have more information on both sides, where the bad terms and the good terms. You know, don't just tell them everything's addictive and it's all bad for you. Tell them the good side of drugs as well.
Make sure they knew about it before they even started high school. Or at least know the dangerous ones for the not so dangerous ones.
I think at primary school is too young an age. I know for a fact that if I got drugs, told about drugs at primary school and came on to secondary school, I'd forget about half the stuff that I'd been taught. And at that age, you just want to go out and have fun and play with your pals, and you don't want to be muddled up with this situation about drugs when you get older.
We should evaluate drugs education for young people and put it more out in the open.
I reckon to involve young people in peer group education, because there isn't so much peer pressure. Young people can have enough initiative to go out and do things themselves and to discuss things themselves, rather than being pushed by an adult, because if they're going to be pushed, they're going to rebel.
there should be somebody who is experienced in drugs telling them, coming into their school once a week and telling them about it and telling them everything what happened to you.
And people that deal with teenagers and children need special training to be able to deal with the issue of drugs. There should maybe be courses for police and youth workers and teachers that help them cope with this sort of issue.
If there was soap operas with a lot of drug issues, I think that would help because, you know, everybody sees soaps and think, you know, that person doesn't take them, so it must be bad for you.
I'd like to see some of these lower class drugs legalised because it would cause a lot less problem for police and society in general.
Sort of to scale it down so that young offenders who are taking drugs aren't treated so severely, and more cautionary, because at the moment, you know, if you take drugs, that's it. It's a big thing. Whereas people who do steal cars and stuff don't get the same kind of reaction from the police.
Tougher sentences would be one thing, plus parents watching out for the symptoms.
They need to have more information and they need to have more sides of the argument rather than have people sort of preaching at them, because that makes them automatically want to rebel. They need to see people who've been involved in the drug scene, and they need to have sort of good information as to why it's wrong to take drugs and the alternatives and how they can enjoy themselves without drugs.
Ideas are plenty there. And on next week's show... Oi! Please, please, please don't. Come on, please, 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 please. Wait, this is not the end. Look, we don't hold all the answers, and we'd like to hear what you have to say about this. Now, it's over to you. Why not write? Or better still, get hold of a video camera. Get those ideas down on tape and send it to us. The address is coming up after the show.